How's everybody doing tonight? All right, so this is the second night of the devotional. This one is titled The Cord, Cutting the Cord. The first verse is Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 4. On the day you were born, your cord was not cut, nor were you washed with water to make you clean, nor were you rubbed with salt or wrapped in clothes. And the other verse is Psalms chapter 32, 3 through 5. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away through my groaning all day long. For day and night your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was sapped as in the heat of summer. Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord, and you forgave the guilt of my sin. So the writer pointed out the first verse referring to an umbilical cord and dealing with addiction, having to cut that cord, referring to relationships or even just things that you hold on to that keeps you depending on that addiction to get through that stuff or to numb that stuff or hide it, whatever you're going through. It's referring to anything that holds on to you, that bounds you to that addiction. You've got to cut that stuff before you can even start the process of getting to sobriety and getting away from that addiction. That was a hard thing for me. And until I became sober, I didn't realize that the things I held on to from my past was really what was keeping me depending on that alcohol to numb the things that had happened to me, to numb the pain and anger that I felt, to bury and hide the feelings and anger that I had. And I was not easy to forgive. I didn't want to forgive anybody because I was able to hold on to that pain and that anger to remind myself of what people did to me to keep it from happening again. And so forgiveness was probably the hardest step of any of this. And for the most part, the two main people in my story I have forgiven 100%, verbally forgave. As with my dad, my biological dad, that relationship is building up now. And he's actually trying to cut back on drinking and stuff. So I'm super proud of him for that. And I'm trying to be there for him to help support him and encourage him to do that. But I think this is the most important step before you can start anything else. If you can't let go of the things that bound you to that addiction, finding sobriety is going to be 3 times harder than what it could be. Because those demons have to go away before you can even begin that journey. You've got to let those things go. You've got to give them to God and let God handle it and give you the strength to move on. And it's hard. That's probably one of the hardest steps that I've had to do. But the day I was able to let those things go and give them to God and forgive those people, it was like 100 pounds lifted off my shoulders. It was the best feeling in the world. And that is one thing I wish I would have had the strength to do sooner, or even had the strength to pursue sobriety sooner. But I'm not saying I regret it, because I've learned so much, and I've tried to quit drinking multiple times myself. Never could do it. Maybe a month, maybe 3 months. But I'd still have some here and there. It was never pure sobriety. So I don't regret it, because I wouldn't have been ready, and I wouldn't have done it with God's help. I would have tried to do it on my own. And if it wasn't for God and Him helping me through this process and reading the Bible and using what the Bible says and putting that into in control of my decisions and my journey on sobriety, I would have never done it. I would have probably started drinking again by now. But I encourage everybody, if you're even halfway considering this, maybe thinking about it, there's maybe a little feeling in you that, well, maybe I can just cut back some. Do it. But let go of the stuff that holds on to you first. It'll be a lot better. It feels so good to forgive and to let all that crap go that you're holding on to. Because you'll know more of my story as I do more of these videos going into details about the certain steps and things that happened in my life that led up to other things. But I promise you, if you can let those things go and forgive those people, it's awesome, and it's well worth the journey. I hope anyone who considers it, I hope you accomplish it 100%. But I encourage you not to do it by yourself. Whether it's watching my videos, whether it's finding devotions on your own, whether it's just opening the Bible and starting to read, please let God help you through this journey. And it'll be so much easier because you'll never be alone. And that's one thing that I always felt, is that I was alone or never understood. I don't feel that way no more. And it's all because of God. So I hope you have a good night, and I hope that y'all keep watching the videos and hanging out with me on this journey, and we'll keep going through these devotions. Thanks.